So let's consider three cases of irrational belief, and we're going to see even with regard to irrational belief, how evidence plays a role in determining that these beliefs are irrational. The first one we want to consider is a belief motivated by something other than the evidence. Well, let's consider the following scenario. Optimist is planning a picnic for Saturday. He's been working very hard lately. Good friends are coming into town for the day, and he has a wonderful place picked out for the picnic. Opto very much wants to go on this picnic. The weather forecast for Saturday is quite tentative. The forecaster says there's a 50% chance that it will be sunny and a 50% chance that it will rain. It all depends on which direction a storm system goes, and it's too early to tell which way it will go. Because Opto wants so much for it to be nice, he believes that it will be sunny on Saturday. Now, in that case, it's pretty clear that Optimist has an irrational belief that it's going to be sunny on Saturday. The weight is even. It's 50-50. He should be suspending judgment. But notice in this case he has the wrong motivation. He's not motivated by the evidence. He's motivated by wishful thinking. That makes it irrational, and his irrational behavior could result in his being unprepared in case it does rain. Let's turn to another example. Example of misevaluating evidence. A reporter for the Times, the New York Times, bleeding heart liberal, discovers evidence that some U.S. soldiers have abused some Iraqi prisoners of war. She discovers that the guards have taken pictures of Iraqi males dressed only in their undershorts in subservient positions with female U.S. soldiers. On this basis, Bleeding comes to believe that the U.S. Army's actions in Iraq were immoral. Now, is her belief rational or irrational? Now, you need to know that all of the evidence that she has points that this is an aberrant case, that it's not a standard case, that there's something gone wrong here, and this might be an abuse of, by a few guards of a small number of Iraqi prisoners. But in general, the conduct of the war has been done in a reasonable fashion. However, notice we gave her the name Bleeding Heart Liberal. That is, she's looking for any excuse to find the U.S. Army's action to be immoral. So in this case, she is misevaluating the evidence. She's not weighing the evidence where it fits in with the totality of the evidence, and in this regard, she's not proportioning her belief to where the evidence points, and in this case, she is being irrational. Thinking that the evidence supports a belief when it doesn't is irrational. And maybe it's because she wants it or whatever, similar to Optimist. In this case, at least, it's slightly different because she is misevaluated. She's found evidence that points in a certain direction that she wanted to go. That wasn't true in the Optimist case. But here, there is evidence. It's just she has not fit it into the totality of the evidence, which keeps in mind when we're thinking about proportioning our belief. It's not just the certain pieces of evidence, it's proportioning our belief to where the total weight of the evidence falls. Let's move on to the third case of irrational belief. We're saying this is one where a person doesn't consider all of the evidence. Underline all. And we're going to use the Jim Shorts case, which is going to change a little. Suppose Jim Shorts' class composed of 50 freshmen, 50 sophomores, and he finds a math textbook left behind. However, the math textbook is from a course taken by virtually no sophomores. Freshman math, whatever it is. Jim ignores this last piece of evidence and suspends judgment about whether a freshman left the book behind. Now, presumably what should have happened is, if the book is used largely by freshmen and by very few sophomores, it means that it's much more likely that a freshman has left the math book behind. So, rational belief requires that you consider all of the evidence that's available to you. You can't just pick and choose, and by not considering all of the evidence, Jim ends up being irrational in suspending judgment in this case. And we should be getting a feeling at this point about the weight of the evidence and how that affects the rationality of our belief and the degree of confidence that we want to put all of our beliefs.